Testing 1, 2, 3.
The face of fear on everyone you meet. They come on the street, they give their lives. We are the people. They want to take us alive. Mechanics of death all through the sky. A new heaven awaits. An afterlife of bliss. We must stand strong. We must persevere.
Ladies and gentlemen, feds. Oh my God, I got the reverb on. Ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages, it's time for Mild's Culture Plate. I am your host, Mild Kevin Miles, and it is 6 p.m. Central, Wednesday, July the 2nd, 2025, and you are locked in. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Come on in, say hello, get your toast. I really need to update my soundboard. now that I'm using the built-in one on Rumble Studio. But until then, come on in, get these sound effects played. We're going to go jump right into breaking news. Breaking news, folks. We have an active shooter situation in Georgia. This is from Fox 5 Atlanta. Active shooter at a Savannah area mall, the Oglethorpe Mall. Firefighters responded Wednesday to the report of a shooting, according to a firefighters union. They said the situation is active and dangerous, and people urged to avoid the area. IAFF said its firefighters responded to the mall at 5:43 p.m. on Wednesday to reports of a shooting, and then at 6:13, so almost an hour ago, they updated their post to say more firefighters were on their way to help prepare people for the transport to the hospital. Active and dangerous. Avoid the area. Number of people injured is unclear at this time. Okay. One moment. Let's see here. Okay. Let's jump over to ABC News. Yeah, it just, again, it says multiple agencies.
The yeas are 50.
Multiple agencies and multiple people. Okay. So, yeah, apparently there's a video circulating.
No, see what the fuck these little niggas is. I don't know them little niggas.
I mean, guy just.
No, see what the fuck these little niggas is. I don't know them little niggas.
So, yeah, inner city mall, folks getting shot. Fun times in 2025. Gotta love it. Shout out to the firefighters. Cheers to the firefighters. Cheers to everyone who's helping. All right, let's move along. That was not actually the only mall shooting that happened today, or I guess this week, I should say. As we had this happen in Texas, a woman fatally shoots ex inside the shops at Redbird Mall in Dallas. A woman is accused of fatally shooting her ex-boyfriend Tuesday inside of a Dallas mall in what authorities described as a domestic-related incident that unfolded at his cookie shop. Officers responded about 3:50 p.m. to reports of gunfire at the shops of Redbird, located on Wisdom Road, or West Camp Wisdom Road. According to police, suspect later identified as 43-year-old Rashana Lowe allegedly shot a man, later identified as Jamie Rocket. Police said Lowe turned herself into the Arlington Police Department, where she allegedly told authorities she was involved in a domestic situation with her ex and used a hand gesture indicating she shot someone. She shared that she'd left the weapon at the scene and then was transported to Dallas PD. And here's this lovely, beautiful young lady here. Lowe currently in the Dallas County Jail on murder charges. DPD said Lowe and Rocket knew each other, but the department hasn't released further information. Surveillance video shows the shooting. According to the arrest affidavit, surveillance video shows Lowe walking to Cookies and Smoothies, which Rocket owned. The two were seen having a conversation that lasted about an hour. And then the video shows Lowe pulling out a handgun, firing multiple times before jumping over the counter and firing several more rounds. According to the affidavit, Rocket was hit in the head, chest, and legs before Lowe jumped back over the counter, leaving the handgun laying on it. A witness told officers they saw Lowe running and crying and asking if she was okay. Very helpful to the witnesses. You're in the mall, you hear gunfire, you see a woman crying, and of course, the empathy goes toward the woman. Lowe then fled the scene in an SUV, police said. Dallas interviewed the victim's wife. During an interview with the detective, DPD said Rocket's wife shared that a woman had been harassing him for a while named Lowe. The wife told the detective there was a restraining order. Chamber of Commerce and City Council offer condolences. CBS News will provide updates as available. Okay. Folks. Oh, my Lord. Be careful. Be careful who you love. Be careful who you're with. Because you might get married to someone else one day and then your ex might show up at your job with a handgun. Dear Lord. If my ex is out there watching, please, we can resolve this without violence. Although I don't know what we would have left to resolve. I think we left pretty amicably. All right. Let's get into Trump administration news. Wow, we have had no viewers yet. You know what? I'm going to take this moment. Let me just do something here. Since we have no viewers right at the moment, I'm going to play the... Actually, let's do this. Let's go to BitChute and play the InfoWars version of the Alex Jones song. And I should have used the restroom right before the stream, and I decided to wait, and here we are. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's bring that up. I will be right back.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive, selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin, and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we want to eat babies. I have them on video.
I love Satan, so f*** you. I kill my kids.
Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man.
He came, he saw, he died.
She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. That woman number one is ugly.
Oh.
Imagine how bad she smells.
Okay. That was a little loud. I'm sorry. I didn't realize how loud it was. Dear Lord, Mama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Okay, so that, yeah, all right, there we go. We'll go ahead and bring that down. Sorry, folks. Hop in the chat and let me know if you want to watch the rest of that, but we're going to jump back into the news as CDC Vaccine Advisory Committee recommends against flu vaccines containing thimerosal, and then opponents worry, okay, because this is the mainstream media, we got to give the opponents a voice. But when it was flipped the other way around, right? When the CDC was ran by the deep state, when the CDC was ran by big pharma shills, how often was ABC News allowing the opposition a voice? Just something to think about while we read this article. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, made up of members of recently hand-selected Health and Human Services, recently hand-selected by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., voted 5-1 on Thursday to recommend against flu vaccines containing the preservative thimerosal. A few moments before, the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee voted 6-0 to recommend all Americans aged 6 months and older to receive an annual flu vaccine. One member, Vicky Pebsworth, abstained on each vote. Thimerosal is a mercury-based preservative which is used to prevent microbial contamination of vaccines. Most vaccines, flu vaccines currently used in the U.S. contain little to no thimerosal, but both the FDA and CDC, there's no evidence low doses of thimerosal in vaccines cause harm other than minor reactions at the injection site. Then why'd you take it out? Then 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 why do most flu vaccines not contain it anymore? Huh? If it's this good thing, right, to prevent contamination, why'd you take it out then? Why is it out? We got great liquor in the chat over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. Cheers and welcome. The viewer count's not updating. That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. That means I even if people did start showing up to the chat in droves, I probably wouldn't get credit for an ad read. All right. A 2010 study found exposure to vaccines and immunoglobulins that contain thimerosal in prenatal or infant stages does not increase risk for autism spectrum disorder. So yeah, we're ABC. We're going to go clear back to 2010 in the late 1990s to debunk things that we're trying to research now. During the ACIP meeting, Lynn Redwood, a former president of Children's Health Defense, a group that used to be chaired by Kennedy, gave a highly charged presentation as a private citizen. She claimed the preservative was toxic to the brain and refuted claims that there has been no proven harm from thimerosal in vaccines. Her presentation received pushback from ACIP member Cody Meissner, who was the only member to vote against the recommendation. He said there's no scientific evidence that thimerosal has caused problems. Then why did they take it out? The risk for influenza is so much greater than the non-existing risk from thimerosal, he added. Yes, because the flu vaccine, which has done jack and shit for most of the people I know that have gotten the damn thing over the past 2 decades, because vaccines apparently, because in current year 2025, vaccines don't stop you from getting the disease, but we'll just go on with the narrative that the risk is so great of getting the flu that we could just pump you with preservatives. Meissner said vaccines with thimerosal are metabolized as ethyl mercury, not methyl mercury, which is the form of mercury found in fish and shellfish and is known to be a neurotoxin. I'm not quite sure how to respond to this presentation, he said. This is an old issue that has been addressed in the past. Ethyl mercury is excreted much more quickly from the body. It's not associated with the high neurotoxicity that methyl mercury is. So just because it heads to your shit quicker means it's not going to affect your brain at all? At all? Is that the claim you're making there, buddy? He also added that thimerosal. See, I love how ABC News is focusing every aspect of this. Like, just basically glazed across her presentation, right? Claimed the preservative was toxic to the brain and refuted claims, gave one sentence about her actual presentation and 5 paragraphs. 5 paragraphs. Let's keep going. 6, 7, 8. No, 7 paragraphs on the one board member who disagreed with her. And they want you to believe our mainstream media has our best interests at heart. Knowing that ABC gets lots of advertising money from Big Pharma, from Pfizer, from Johnson & Johnson, Bayer. I'm not even going to keep reading this. I mean, we've read the important part, but I'm not going to read 8 more paragraphs of all the people who disagree with the 5 people whose opinion actually mattered. But you don't see their opinions on here. You see the one person who didn't, and like some public people. Let's see, American College of Physicians, a liaison for the American College of Physicians. So, another big pharma shill. Chief of American Academy of Pediatrics Committee on Infectious Diseases. So, yeah, another pharma shill. Oh, here we go. Another heated exchange in the meeting came during the discussion of flu vaccines when ACIP member Dr. Malone described the 250 flu deaths among children during the most recent flu season as a modest number. The 250 pediatric deaths, which is, let's acknowledge, a modest number, fortunately. Well, yeah, compared to COVID. And yeah, and the past season saw the highest number of flu deaths among children for a non-pandemic season. Yeah. Again, this shit pisses me off. This shit pisses me off. Because it's literally, our products aren't 100% safe. We don't claim they're 100% safe, and we don't claim they're 100% effective. But you know what? All of your children needs to be our customers. Make your children our guinea pigs. It's anger inducing. So Trump's lawsuit with CBS News is over. Let's go to the BBC. Paramount to pay Trump $16 million to settle the 60 Minutes lawsuit. Media company Paramount Global has agreed to pay $16 million to settle a legal dispute with President Donald Trump regarding an interview it broadcast with former Vice President Kamala Harris. Trump filed a lawsuit in October alleging the network had deceptively edited an interview that aired on 60 Minutes with his presidential election rival Kamala Harris to tip the scales in favor of the Democrat Party. Paramount said it would pay to settle the suit, but with money allocated to Trump's future presidential library, not paid to him directly or indirectly. We kind of covered this on the show a week or so ago, but now we have the amount. The spokesperson with Trump's legal team, Swifty, hailed the settlement as a win for the American people over the fake news media. CBS and Paramount Global realized the strength of this historic case and had no choice but to settle. President Trump will always ensure that no one gets away with lying to the American people. I do think it's unfortunate that they settled, because I think this kind of case needs to go to the Supreme Court. We need the fake news to be held accountable during election season. And, we need our laws codified. CBS, owned by Paramount, previously said the case was without merit, and asked the judge to dismiss it. It stressed the broadcast was not doctored or deceitful. Well, we played some of those clips here on the show. There were clearly shit where the context was cut in a certain way to make it sound less harmful. According to the lawsuit filed in federal court in Texas, CBS aired 2 versions of the Harris interview, which he appeared to give different answers to the same question about Israel-Gaza. One clip aired on Face the Nation and the other on 60 Minutes. Trump claimed Harris's word salad answer had been deceptively edited in one version to shield her from backlash. It was. Trump sued, originally claiming $10 billion, but that figure was later increased to $20 billion for damages. May this year, the company offered $15 million to settle the suit, but Trump wanted more than 25. Okay. So we got 16, though. He got him up to 16. And that money's going to his presidential library. So how do you think the fake news reacted to this news? Well, let's see Brian Stelter on CNN.
CBS did nothing wrong here, but its parent company is paying the price anyway because of President Trump's highly unusual litigation strategy. This is now a playbook of sorts for the president because he won a settlement from Disney's ABC last December, also a settlement from Mark Zuckerberg's Meta, and now a settlement from Paramount Global.
Oh no, imagine that. Imagine that. Oh no, 3 media outlets. Trump had to sue them all. And instead of that being a problem with our media, that's clearly a problem with Donald Trump, and that means he's a scary old man, right?
We're seeing an unusual wrinkle here with Paramount, the parent of CBS, is that Paramount is trying to merge with a company called Skydance. And in order to merge, it needs Trump administration approval.
Oh, so Paramount was scared that the FTC wouldn't allow their merger if Trump wasn't happy with their settlement. That's quite a claim, Stelter.
Has led to widespread speculation that Paramount was willing to cut this settlement deal, in fact, eager to cut this deal in order to get the Trump administration to bless the merger. Some Democratic lawmakers have used the word bribe to describe this. And one CBS correspondent said to me on condition of anonymity, everyone at 60 Minutes believes this is an act of extortion by the president. But let me show you the new statement we have from Trump's legal team, the way.
So CNN, owned by Time Warner, making a claim now on live television. Now, see, you got to be careful here. You got to be careful. You're talking about defamation lawsuits. Well, not necessarily defamation, but you're talking about people getting sued for lying on the news. You're literally talking about that in this clip for being fake news. People being sued for being fake news. And you're going to make the claim that some say, always the weasel words, some say that Paramount is bribing the Trump administration for blessings for a merger.
He is portraying this as a victory this morning because I think it's really telling, Kate. Here's the statement obtained by CNN. Quote, with this record settlement, President Trump delivers another win for the American people as he, once again, holds the fake news media accountable for their wrongdoing and deceit. CBS and Paramount Global realized the strength of this historic case and had no choice but to settle. President Trump will always ensure that no one gets away with lying to the American people. So that statement is exactly
what... Oh, look, hey, he cut it short. He cut it short because he didn't want to say, make America great again. What a shitbag. Neurodivergent one. What's up, Mild? Want a little help with those watch hours? I will. I will take the help tonight. I'm not having one of those, hey, not having a good stream tonight, buddy, streams. I'm having a great day. And yeah, sure, I'll take whatever help you got there. Always willing to reach out a little bit, or almost always, I should say. I'm sorry to turn you down before, but yeah, love you, neurodivergent one. Cheers and welcome. Cheers and welcome. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Yeah, let's go, Brandon. All right. Good seeing you, buddy. All right. Let's finish with Stelter's insanity here.
CBS News journalists did not want the parent company to settle. That statement is exactly what 60 Minutes correspondent feared would happen. Trump coming out and claiming victory, even though he actually had a...
You promised to raid out when you're done? I'll raid anybody, man. Yes, I will definitely raid. Yeah, I'll raid whoever you want me to raid. I don't mind. Yeah. Heck yeah.
a very weak case. Legal experts told CNN it was frivolous and ridiculous. They said that CBS could easily win in court if it had chosen to go that route.
Easily have won. Easily have won. I mean, okay, maybe you've won round one, but we're talking about the Trump administration here. We're talking about the conservative Supreme Court, who are also being lied at by the media. Let's see what else we got going on here. Sorry, just doing a quick scan here. All right, let's jump into the next story. We had some issues. What day was this? A couple days ago, Monday, Sunday, of this craziness in Idaho, and we'll touch on it just a little bit, just because I heard about it. I haven't dug into this story very much, but I heard about it, and I don't know how I feel about this, because, my conspiracy brain says this was quite the story. Man shot Idaho firefighters who had asked him to move his vehicle, killing 2, sheriff says. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Man who started a wildfire and fatally shot 2 firefighters and wounded another in northern Idaho was a 20-year-old transient who attacked the first responders when they asked him to move his vehicle, as sheriff said Monday. Kootenai County Sheriff Bob Norris offered new details about the Sunday confrontation at Canfield Mountain, just north of Coeur d'Alene, popular recreation area. He said Wes Rowley was living out of his vehicle and had once aspired to be a firefighter and only had a handful of minor contacts with police. No manifesto, the sheriff said. Families of the victims are in shock and still processing it. 2 veteran firefighters killed and a third's in critical condition. So prayers to the firefighter who's in critical. I hope for your speedy recovery, sir. Coeur d'Alene Fire Department Battalion Chief John Morrison, 52, was also killed after working with the department for 28 years. And Battalion Chief Frank Harwood, 42, had been with the county fire department for 17 years, was killed. Married with 2 children and a veteran of the Army National Guard. Salute, sir. John Morrison, 52, was also killed after working in the department for 28 years. And fire engineer David Tizol, 47, sustained gunshot wounds and is in critical condition. Authorities said he had 2 successful surgeries. And that was as of Monday, I believe. After the shooting, law enforcement agencies have offered to go on call every call that the fire department goes on, according to Way. Rowley had ties to California and Arizona before moving to Idaho. Helicopters converged on the area Sunday, armed with snipers, ready to take out the suspect as needed. They eventually found Rowley dead in the mountains with his firearm beside him. Rowley lived with T.J. Franks Jr. about 6 months in Sandpoint, Idaho, while working for a tree service, Franks said Monday. Franks had cameras in his apartment that caught Rowley throwing gang signs at them one day, which worried Franks to the point he called police. I didn't know what to really think about it. I just called the cops and had them talk to him. The landlord also called Franks one morning because neighbors reported that Rowley's vehicle had been left running for 12 hours. Franks said Rowley was asleep in his room and forgot about the vehicle. Said he started acting a little weird and at one point shaved off his long hair completely. Kind of noticed him starting to decline or kind of go downhill. See, this is the thing about situations like this. I hear stuff like that and my conspiracy brain starts to go down the MK Ultra route. Outpouring of support. Yes. Everyone wants the firefighters' families and the one firefighter to thrive after this. Shelter-in-place order was lifted. The sheriff's office cautioned residents to be prepared because the fire was still burning. Described the fire on Monday as reasonably contained, saying that respondents had stopped significant forward progress. Friend texted they're concerned about being shot at. Okay. We've got the audio, the dispatch audio that's been leaked online. Let's go ahead and listen to this.
Central BC 5, Central BC.
Let me turn this down a little bit. Sorry, that was loud as fuck.
5. BC 5 up 6. Someone enforcement right now. There's an active shooter zone. They're shot. BC 3's down. BC 1's down. Everybody's shot up here. Law enforcement, code 3 now up here. 551, 10 or 14 up here. Stop. Get out of the way. 10 or 14. Engine push 551. Do not come up here. 51 copies. Remaining staging. Central BC.
So I'm assuming that's the third individual who's now in the hospital, because he said the other two were down and he told everyone else to stay away. Wow, that's haunting. That is very haunting. All right, let's go to Illinois. Let's go to Illinois via the New York Post, because we love to hate stories like this. Accused dirty teacher Christina Formella is all smiles in court with her husband as she asks the judge to let her move closer to the student whom she sexually abused 50 times. Alleged dirty teacher Christina Formella and her husband were all smiles in court as she tried to convince a judge. Okay, so yeah, repeated. Formella swished into a county courtroom, holding hands with the hubby Michael on Wednesday morning. Neither of the Formellas answered questions about the case that shocked suburban Chicago. Michael was holding her the entire time, smiling at each other, literally smiling at each other the entire time until she got up. One courtroom spy who sat directly behind the couple told the Post. They look really confident. Look at this cuck. Christina revealed she'd been living with her parents at their $560,000 home on a golf course since mid-June, when her charges were upgraded and given an ankle monitor. She slyly concealed the court order tracker with a pair of wide-leg pants. New York Post, always with the important information about the fashion of the rapist. You gotta love it. The Formella's marital home is within the court-ordered 5,000-foot buffer zone between her and the alleged victim, her lawyers told the judge. She asked Wednesday that the buffer zone be reduced by half, explaining that the boy often hangs out with friends near her home and even has a job in the area, and the judge denied the motion. Formella was hit with 52 additional charges last month for aggravated criminal sexual abuse and criminal sexual assault. The former special education teacher and soccer coach was arrested in March and accused of abusing her teenage student at least 50 times and at least 40 times at the school. She and her husband are college sweethearts and married just last year, just weeks before the alleged relationship with the boy came to an end in September. Oh, come on. Come on, dude. Oh, man, that is just not fucking right.
Lord, it's a damn shame.
That is just not fucking... This shit... The instant divorce. Instant divorce. She was still fucking him while you were getting married. Prosecutors say Formella told the boy she was planning to leave her husband and take him for millions. And here he is, holding her hand in the court where she's accused of raping a special student.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
Michael Formella is the scion of E. Formella and Sons, a Chicago-based Italian food manufacturer and purveyor. Despite Christina's alleged plot to rip off the family and run away with a teeny bopper, her father-in-law, Randy, has even joined the accused creep in court. He also declined to comment on why the family was sticking with her. Michael Formella, who was a baseball star at Concordia University of Chicago, previously told cops he was blindsided by the charges and had no idea his wife was allegedly stepping out on him with an underage boy. Investigators say the inappropriate affair was happening right under his nose, with Christina allegedly even texting the alleged victim while she and her husband were vacationing in Italy. She's accused of grooming the boy, with prosecutors saying her advances began when he was 14 years old. He'd been on the soccer team at the time, but after an injury took him off the field, she started giving him private tutoring. Ugh.
Do not come.
It was in her classroom during those sessions where the alleged affair began, with the first alleged sexual contact happening when she was 28 and he was 15. Allegations came to light in March after the boy's mother found text messages on his phone in which Formella professed her love for the boy and talked openly about enjoying their sex, including one message where she said, "I love having sex with you." Prosecutors initially alleged there was just one sexual incident after a romance built up for months, but said they later came across evidence that indicated dozens of sexual encounters. The pair allegedly had sex dozens of times in her classroom, but also several times at her husband's home on school time. After her arrest, Formella told cops she was being targeted and blackmailed by the boy because she was good looking and nice. Text messages between the pair and a torrid diary found on her phone. Found on her phone. Oh shit. Oh shit.
My detector test determined that was a lie.
I went back and screenshotted every single time that I said we should break up until after the wedding and after you graduate, Formella wrote in the diary. Oh my Lord. And every single effing time you came back and convinced me it would be fine, you ruined us. I warned you that we should never have started dating a long freaking time ago, and you gaslit me and convinced me it was fine. The adult teacher said of the special needs student. We will be in each other's lives forever. We will be able to love each other while also living our own lives. The diary added. Formella claimed those writings were merely a form of self-therapy, and the sexual references were about her husband. Do you believe that? Do y'all believe that? Is there anything to believe about that?
You are fake news.
Yeah. This is some bullshit. Oh my God. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been this angry at a pedo story. 50 times. A special needs student. 50 times. Look, I'm not saying special needs folks aren't worthy of a relationship and aren't able to consent to relationships. But their consent and their ability to make an informed consensual decision, especially when they're underage, needs to be weighed heavily. And if you're the adult in the situation, which I can't believe I'm saying it this way because, quite frankly, don't ever be an adult in this situation. Don't defer to the special needs minor to make decisions about your adult relationships. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, wood chipper. Wood chipper. And you know what? Fuck it. Throw the husband and father-in-law. Whoa, we got Robert Gruler Esquire rated the stream. Cheers and welcome, Raid. Slightly Salty says, who dis? This is mild. This is mild. We're talking about talking politics, talking about the latest things that have me angry and upset. We just did a story right before everybody came on. We just did a story about this pedophile lady. So, you know what? I'm going to skim it one time because we just got rated. I want everybody to know what's going on with this because this is the most angry I have been at one of these pedo stories. And I just broke this down, this New York Post article. This teacher, all smiles on court, holding hands with her husband as they arrive for court, as she asked the judge to let her move closer to the student who she sexually abused 50 times. So she's a Robert Gouveia. Oh shit, Robert Gouveia. Cheers to Robert Gouveia. Cheers to Slightly Salty, by the way, and Raven 620, and our good friend Sanglant. And then all of y'all coming in. I'm not gonna be able to keep up with the cheers. Death All Pedos, you got to follow friend. Thank you. All right. So this story, the husband's in denial, typical cuck behavior. The husband's in denial and says he believes his wife. And let's skim down here. Was grooming the boy at 14. Started having sexual contact when she was 18. He was 15. The mom found a phone where she had texted him, I love having sex with you. And then there was a diary on her phone. On her phone. She told the cops she's being targeted and blackmailed because she's nice and good looking. But they found a diary on her phone where she said, I went back and screenshotted every single time I said we should break up until after the wedding and you graduated. And every single effing time you came back and convinced me it would be fine, you ruined us. I warned you that we should never have started dating a long, long, long effing time ago. You gaslit me and convinced me it would be fine. She said of the special needs minor. And then claimed, oh, those writings were really about my husband and it was a form of self-therapy that I was, claiming to talk about the kid. Dear Lord. Why Wolf 660? Yeah, cheers, yes. Yeah, wood chipper. And yeah, Sanglant. Cheers. All right. So we're gonna move on. The next story here, we got Brian Koberger. You may remember the 4 college students in Idaho who were murdered. Brian Koberger has admitted to the killings in a plea deal. Let's see. Despite his initial eagerness to be exonerated, At the Ada County Courthouse in Boise, Idaho, Judge Stephen Hippler asked Koberger how he pleads for the counts of murder, naming the 4 students: Kaylee Gonclaves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. And Koberger quickly said guilty each time, showing no emotion. He was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary in connection with the 2022 killings. Oh, cheers, neurodivergent one. You have a good one. You have a good one. Slightly Salty says special needs. Oh my OMG, that's even worse for her and her devoted husband. Yeah, she was a special needs teacher. Yeah, and she was mentoring. Little Galaxy 56 says so. Her husband supports pedo groomers. Yes, and in the article it said his family, the husband, his family owns an Italian food distribution company in Chicago, and that the father-in-law also supports her. So gotta love that shit. Koberger briefly answered questions from Hippler with yes and no, marking the first time since his arrest that he spoke out during court proceedings. He was asked if he was thinking clearly. Yes. Promised anything in exchange for the plea. He said no. Asked if he was pleading guilty because he was guilty, and he said yes. Hey, we got Billdozer 74. Mofo, calling me mofo. Yeah. Because I can be a mofo sometime. Cheers and welcome. Good seeing you, brother. Thank you again to Neurodivergent One. And again, big thank you to Robert Gouveia, man. That guy's awesome. I'm glad you all were watching him. I should have been watching him, but I was prepping for my stream here. Let's see. We got if you've been following any kind of true crime stuff, you know about this. But hey, he's finally admitted to killing. I don't think they had a solid case, and we'll see. I'm assuming at some point we're going to know the terms of the plea deal. But courts are busy today. Let's move on to federal court in New York, where Diddy was denied bail after being found guilty of prostitution and will remain behind bars. And of course, we have the lovely court artist who has been Oh, we don't have the other one. There was another one that was showing him on his hands and knees under the table. So I'm sure Robert Gouveia was probably covering the Diddy stuff, wasn't he? Not sure. Rusty Rivers says, nice to see you got a good audience. You've deserved it for quite a while. Cheers and welcome. Yeah. I mean, I try. I definitely try. So let's skip the Diddy thing for now. We'll come back to it. Actually, I don't even think we need to come back to it. The headline there is really all you need to know. All you need to know. He was found guilty of 2 of the 5 charges. The RICO was thrown out. The sex trafficking was thrown out. Sex trafficking was thrown out basically because it included coercion, and he didn't have to coerce the male prostitutes. What did I just do? I just moved around my tabs. Oh, we have this individual here over on X saying this is a disgrace to all women everywhere. And so yeah, here's the not guilty to racketeering, not guilty to sex trafficking, not guilty to sex trafficking, but guilty of the 2 prostitution charges. So he's probably not going to get a whole lot. What the heck? Let me see here. This is what I wanted. Okay. Wisconsin Supreme Court's liberal majority has now struck down on a 176-year-old abortion ban. Slightly Salty said, I was arguing with a guy about Brian Kay. He said Brian should be held responsible because he's autistic. Shouldn't be held responsible because he's autistic. If he's on the spectrum and he isn't low intel and is aware murdering is wrong. Well, yeah, exactly. At some point, the human brain can cross over from just run of the mill autism into like a sociopathy, right? And something has to be done with people like that. And yeah, they know the difference between right and wrong. They know the difference between life and death. This isn't just a simple I do what I want kind of autism. Anyway, Wisconsin Supreme Court's majority struck down the abortion ban on Wednesday, ruling 4-3 that it was superseded by newer state laws regulating the procedure, including statutes that criminalize abortions only after a fetus can survive outside the womb. The ruling came as no surprise given that liberal justices control the court. One of them went so far as to promise to uphold abortion rights during her campaign 2 years ago, and they blasted the ban during oral arguments in November. The statute Wisconsin legislators adopted in 1849, widely interpreted as near total ban on abortions, made it a felony for anyone other than the mother or a doctor in a medical emergency to destroy an unborn child. I mean, what am I misreading about that? A felony for anyone other than the mother or a doctor in a medical emergency. Oh, okay, it's the medical emergency. Okay, the ban was in effect till 73 when Roe versus Wade. And so the Attorney General, Josh Kaul, filed a lawsuit saying that abortion restrictions enacted by Republican legislators during the century that Roe was in a half century Roe was in effect overturned the ban. Cited a 1985 law that permits abortions until viability. Some babies can survive with medical help. Liberal justices signaled the repeal was imminent. Justice Ziegler called the ruling a jaw-dropping exercise of judicial will. Put bluntly, our court has no business usurping the role of the legislator, inventing legal theories on the fly to make 4 justices' personal preference the law. Sangling 86 says they want nurses to be able to do that. I mean, yeah. Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin asked the Supreme Court in February to decide whether the ban was constitutional. The court dismissed that case with no explanation Wednesday. Well, because they don't need to. So there you have it. There you have it. Abortion. Hey, Mild, here's my X. If you give me a follow, I'll follow you back. Oh, Nerd, a Virgin One. I'm not following you on X. I thought I was. I'm sorry. Boom. Following. Took care of that problem. I am so sorry. I just assumed I was already following you. I get lost on X sometimes, Neuro. Anyway, cheers again to Neuro the Virgin One. This guy single-handedly does way more to make Rumble a way more awesome platform than 90% of people. Like I don't understand. Chris Pavlovsky should just have Neurodivergent One on speed dial. Oh, he's new there. Okay, cool. All right, so we got the big beautiful bill. We got the one big beautiful bill going around Congress. And everyone's got an opinion on it. I've tried to stay mostly out of it. I'm not a big fan of giant government omnibus bills. I was in support of the Democrats' plan to stall only because, not for the stalling, but because they wanted the bill read out loud. And I think if you're getting the bill read out loud, now granted, when you're reading thousands of pages, obviously at some point people are going to stop paying attention. But at least somebody's going to hear the words in it and any quote unquote scary stuff in it. Someone has to verbally read that. Someone has to verbally speak those words. And you know, you want to put one of these giant omnibus bills. That's one of the biggest problems I had with the Patriot Act is, the shit was rushed through in the middle of the night, voted on, and boom. Bulldozer says it's all fake and gay. Yeah, well, it's now seeing hurdles as the big beautiful bill has stalled in the House amid conservative mutiny threats. But Speaker Johnson has vowed to get it done tonight. Let's see what this 3-minute Fox News video is about. Trump's Office of Management and Budget Director addresses whether it raises the nation's deficit.
Well, Dee, we are now waiting for the House to hold a crucial test vote on the President Trump's big, beautiful bill. He wants to sign it by the 4th of July, which, of course, is this Friday. But some Republicans threatening to vote against
sign it on the 4th of July.
With GOP holdouts at the White House. Meantime, Democrats calling it a big,
now that's just showboating
bill
on the Trump administration.
Russ, director of the Office of Management
if you're going to do it.
Russ, great to have you on the show. I want to play some sound because, the emotion on this is all over the place.
I appreciate
the House
the
Freedom Caucus Chair, Andy Harris. He had the following to say, and I'll get your comments. Watch.
Our growth estimate is about 2.6, what we think we can get out of it. Even at 2.8, though, this grows the deficit tremendously. At 2.6, again, it would grow the deficit by $750 billion. That's way too much to grow a deficit. We already have a debt and deficit problem. We shouldn't be adding to it.
Okay.
Do you agree with the numbers that he's throwing out there about the deficit? Do you agree with a lot of things that are being said about this bill, Russ?
Okay, what's your
Absolutely
number?
not. This is an incredible bill.
I want to hear your
it
number.
Will lead to an incredible growth. It reduces, and let me be very clear, it reduces the deficit. When you have an honest assessment of what current law is, this is a reduction in deficits over 10 years,
Reduction
and it will
over
lead to
10 years.
trillions of dollars of economic growth. The economic growth
Everyone
numbers
has
that
their
Congressman
opinion,
Harris is
and
using
I don't know who the fuck to believe. So I'm just going to bring that back down. Here, let me figure out how to get out of the...
is largely just a number that they came up with that they were comfortable
Fox
with.
News here.
We have done...
All right, go back to presentation mode. And Trump's legislative agenda temporarily ground to a halt in the House of Representatives Wednesday. Plans for an early afternoon vote to begin debate on the BBB slipped away as conservative concerns and weather delays led to issues in passing procedural votes. It's not clear if the key vote will proceed today at this point. Freedom Caucus Chairman Andy Harris, one of the bill's biggest critics, told reporters a vote was still possible. Not yet when asked if he was getting what he needed from the White House for support, but the evening is young. Slightly Salty says, I don't believe any of them. Yeah, everyone's got their own agenda, and that's just, this is one of my problems with these giant bills, right? Everyone's got an agenda, and everyone's against it until they're for it, and they're only for it when there's something for them in it. And yes, I will even include Thomas Massey in that. I'm hugely supportive. Hey, thank you, Neurodivergent One. Cheers, thanks. I'm hugely supportive of Thomas Massey. I think he's one of the few politicians that we can trust to be consistent and honest. But I also think a bill like this, you got to put something in there to persuade him. And he's had some votes in the past where he's like, well, I didn't love it, but I voted for it because it had this thing in it. He's been honest about it, but all politicians are like that. GOP leaders had hoped to vote to begin the debate with a maneuver known as rule vote, with the goal of teeing up a vote on the legislation's final passage by Wednesday or Thursday. The president has directed Republicans to get his bill to the desk for a signature by the 4th of July. He would not mind a delay of a few days. Hey, we got Bright Can News, honk honk from Canada. Wonk, wonk. Cheers and welcome to our maple-flavored friends of the North. And let me go ahead and give you a sound effect.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
All right. Yeah. Lawmakers expected to vote were told to return to their offices to await further instruction. House Freedom Caucus members who left a meeting next to the House floor declined to comment on what they discussed, but several have made clear in recent days that they have serious issue with the Senate's version of the bill. Okay. We just heard that. We were not happy with what the Senate produced. We thought there was a path forward as of late last week, even though I had concerns in the public about them. But then they jammed it through at the last minute in a way that, we're not overly excited about, Chip Roy said. So now we're trying to understand what options are at this point. Other representatives like Keith Self, Texas, and Josh Breckin of Oklahoma declined to comment. Tim Burchett of Tennessee, who's not a member of the Freedom Caucus but had some concerns, told reporters, "I'm just waiting to see what's going on. Honestly, everybody's just discussing what's going on and trying to get resolution." Burchett told reporters he was leaning in favor of voting to debate. Speaker Johnson can only afford 3 defections to still pass the bill on party lines, and he says, "We're going to get there tonight." Hey, we got Dear Sarge. Cheers and welcome. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Gotta like Dear Sarge. All right, so that's the Trump. Oh, we got more Trump. As we have this evening, we might see the first detainees to Alligator Alcatraz. From the Miami Herald, the first detainees to be held at a Florida-run immigration detention center are expected to arrive on Wednesday night. Alligator Alcatraz will be checking in hundreds of criminal illegal aliens tonight, said Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer in a post on X. Next stop back to where they came from. The facility opened on Tuesday with a visit from Donald Trump. The timing of detainee arrivals at the detention facility in the Everglades was determined by Homeland Security and ICE, state officials told Miami Herald. Florida stands ready to support federal operations as needed, and the state has ensured the facility is prepared to receive individuals once DHS and ICE finalize transportation, logistics, and scheduling, a spokesperson for Florida Division of Emergency Management says. So we've got Alligator Alcatraz. Alligator Alcatraz gonna have its first detainees. And there was a whole press conference, and Trump and DeSantis and Kristi Noem met yesterday, and there was an interesting quote, which I titled the stream. I titled the stream after this quote. I want you to remember this because, Trump gets a lot of shit, but you know what?
I think our viewers at home should note that this is air-conditioned facility, so if any of the news claims are keeping them out in the hot, humid South Florida, that is wrong. It's probably 6.
So there's been all this criticism that this is such a rough prison, and now here's Trump's rebuttal.
62 degrees here, to be honest.
Hey, Biden wanted me in here. Okay, that's it.
Biden wanted me in here.
Wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but
didn't work out that way.
I think our viewers at home should note that.
Let's see, Nerdivergent1 working to get Joe rating out of streams. You talking about Good Logic? Yeah, I saw him on over on Quartering today. That was a pretty good stream. Let's see. All right. Now let's get into some serious but less serious news. Serious but less serious news. So you may have been aware that the Trump administration has really been pushing for universities to stop with all the LGBTQ plus insanity. And now I guess the University of Pennsylvania has finally caved a little bit, but not really, but a little bit. Yeah. As we go to this, this is from Total Pro Sports. I saw other news outlets covering this, but their headline is what snagged my attention. The University of Pennsylvania is using a controversial loophole to continue honoring trans swimmer Leah Thomas after the White House pressured the school to erase its records. This is awkward. University of Pennsylvania just wiped Leah Thomas's name from the women's swimming record books and quietly honored him anyway. It's the kind of move that makes you blink twice. The Ivy League school bowed to pressure from the Department of Education and Donald Trump's administration, agreeing to ban trans women from women's competition and erase Leah Thomas's NCAA accomplishments. And yet, the University of Pennsylvania left an asterisk at the bottom of the page that says otherwise, with a footnote that says competing under eligibility rules in effect at the time, Leah Thomas set program records in the 100, 200, and 500 freestyle during 2021-2022 season. On his profile, he still gets credit for being part of the record-setting 400 free relay team, so technically erased, but not really. This all happened after the Trump administration cut off $175 million from funding to the University of Pennsylvania, citing Title IX violations. They caved and adopted strict sex-based classifications and apologized to swimmers who were impacted by the participation of Thomas. Saying like neurodivergent one talking about Joe. Yeah, I hope Joe really embraces some rumble here. And some rating. And especially since, like, wasn't Joe asking no, it was Quartering saying he would raid Joe. So yeah. Hopefully that helps him bend. Anyway, includes retroactively awarding titles and records to those who placed behind her in 2022. Him in 2022. Thomas, who started his career competing in men's events before transitioning and meeting hormone therapy requirements, became a lightning rod in the debate over trans athletes. He won a national title in the 500-yard freestyle and tied for 5th in the 200 with Riley Gaines, who has become a leading voice in trans participation in women's sports. UPenn president Larry Jameson, cousin of J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man. Rusty Rivers getting the best pizza on earth. Click them buttons. Easy and mild deserves it. Yes, folks, I do a show Wednesday and Saturday, 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. If you can click that thumbs up button or click that follow, we'll be rolling this Saturday as well as finishing this program. So J. Larry Jameson said the school wanted to avoid significant and lasting implications from the investigation and that Penn remains committed to fostering a community that is welcoming, inclusive, and open. Welcoming, inclusive, and open. Whether that holds up is up for debate. So this is from Arnab Mondal, NFL writer for Total Pro Sports. So this is the person that's been spamming all the NFL memes groups on all the social media. Oh, Lord. All right, let's do... Okay, I think that's going to be the last of the news stories. We're going to wrap up the show today with the fuck around and find out moment of the week. As we're going to snag a viral video where someone definitely gets the karma they deserve for fucking with another human being. And we're going to get to that moment right now. Oh, Bill Dozer says he's door dashing. Sorry if he seemed absent. Bill, I show up to your stream all the time. I leave a funny joke, and then I put my phone down and I watch on the TV or I listen. And yeah, I'm not very participating in your chat either, man. I don't take no I don't take no offense. As long as you're clicking that like button and I see you people stopping by, I love y'all. I love y'all. All right, so let's get to the fuck around and find out moment of the week.
Let the music take your mind. Ooh, just release
Oh, he just broke the window. Now he just chunked it through the window. Oh no!
Glad you're going my way. I love it when we're...
He just got dozered. He just got dozered by a golf cart. The caption, let's see. What Twitter account was this? This is Desiree America. Claims that this was in Florida and no charges were filed. Protect what's yours by any means necessary. So, folks, don't ever find your head underneath a golf cart. Bright Can News. Keep on trucking, Bill Dozer. Yep. Please, Bill Dozer, keep on trucking. All right, so let's. You know what? I could do an ad read, but I don't think I'm gonna. I love the show the way it is. This has been one of the most perfect shows. Granted, there were a couple mistakes I made, but we'll get there. We'll get there, folks. This Saturday, 6 p.m. Central, going to be doing the next Miles Culture Plate. I missed my gaming stream this week. Sangler says, best use of an electric car in 2025. Oh, yes. I mean, it's right up there with, blowing yourself up outside a Vegas hotel. But yeah, best use of an electric car. This definitely takes the cake. Okay, so, yeah, this Saturday, 6 p.m. Central, folks, I'm having a brain fart all of a sudden. Oh, yeah. Click that thumbs up button. Click the like, the share, the follow. If you're new here, feel free. Check out my channel for older videos. Go watch some old stream of mine. I always recommend people check out my old boy band rant from back when I was fat. I used to complain about women and simps a lot. And I had this whole boy band rant where I clowned on Boys to Men. Anyway, so I always recommend people go check out one of my old videos. Some of these video platforms really, like, their algorithm will click if you watch more than one video of someone that you're newly following. It definitely helps move me up in the rankings. Again, big shout out to my hero, Neurodivergent One, and Robert Govea. Man, big shout out to those guys. Thank you for the audience tonight. I cannot thank you enough. And everyone else who normally comes by, big thank you to the normal the what do you call it, the regulars here at the Culture Plate table. Need to set it to feature so it plays on your main channel page. Oh, you know what? I didn't think about trying that. I might try that later. Slightly Salty says, got to make 37 cents, read those ads. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to taint this stream with advertising. I'll wait and catch you next time. You folks show up next time, 6 p.m. Central, this Saturday, 7 Eastern, as we'll do this stuff again. We'll do all this again. Click that follow button. Make sure you have the notification active. And come join the party. Get in the chat. Get your chats read. Get your toast. Get your sound effects played. And we'll roll. We will roll. Neurodivergent One says, do you have a raid target in mind? I do not. So feel free. I have not even looked at who's live right now. I could look real quick. But if you have someone you recommend, I will definitely take it. Yeah, because I see nobody on my feed. I'd have to jump into the live featured. So if you have someone neurodivergent one, I'll send these folks right to them. Let me know. Singlet says Pyro's live. I don't think I know Pyro. Oh, Dr. Pyrostine. Well, shit, Dr. Pyrostine is live. All right. So yeah, I'll raid Dr. Pyrostine if neurodivergent one doesn't. Okay, neurodivergent one does have someone. Okay, so let's do that. All right, I'll send you to common. All right. So yes, folks, those watching, those not in the chat. So cheers to everyone in the chat, of course, and those who may be listening on demand or watching on demand or listening to the audio. Cheers to you as well. And those of you listening later, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section. Let me know you've been by. Just kind of drive by, comment at me. Oh man, this has been a great stream. That one hold people better. Okay. Oh wait. Okay. Yeah, we'll send it to common. All right, folks. Until next time. Salty. I'll be glad when Diddy's out of the news. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Outlast those haters. It's very important to outlast the haters. And you'll find out why if you show up Saturday. We do a whole program that involves being haters and talking about haters. We do a whole little segment of the show. So show up on Saturday. We do that then. Outlast those haters. Don't get any on you. Don't get any on you. No matter what it is, don't get it on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. And I'll see you next time on Miles Culture Plate. Folks, take care. Have a good week. See you this weekend. Peace.